Dracula, did you lose your car again?
Just hit the remote. Make it honk.
If it's too far away, just put it on the remote under your chin. That seems to help.
Well, that's a problem. He only has a valet key.
Oh, we're screwed.
Aw.
Well, I suppose there'll be a way to get through that gate eventually.
Are we gonna turn to the T-1000?
Let's get the last upgrade for the combined cut. So now, we can't upgrade it further, but that requires mastery. We're going back to the plot now, and that requires taking another elevator.
Woohoo! Welcome to Zobek Corp. I love that it's a security camera.
I'm sorry to say, but I added that.
Scene of the event. We have no news about their location, but the unusual number of victims makes us fear the worst for our colleagues.
So think about where we started in this game, in this series, and we have now gotten to the point where Death, Lord of all eternal darkness, is watching not CNN and smoking.
This really is DMC.
This is pure camp, is what it is, and I'm loving every second of it.
Death's just had a really long day.
Look at that stock market crash.
Oh, jeez.
Also, the city has a governor?
And it isn't Zobek?
Or possibly the country.
The gates of hell have opened under the city. Look for your loved ones and run for your...
Oh yeah, remember Volkova?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, she's here.
Huh, I forgot about her, actually.
Oh no, she's gonna get stabbed.
Has she said anything yet?
Yes.
But she only speaks in sexual innuendo. Perhaps that's because I'm in the room.
Oh no.
I've tried reading her mind, but there is only chaos and fury there.
Because he's impotent.
Something is buried deep,
You both are.
but I'm unable to see it.
My dear
I'll get better at this mind-reading thing once I'm a paraplegic and bald.
She's too far
Well, my
gone.
brother's skin
She'll
swell
kill
up.
herself
It'll
before we
be
get
slow.
anything out of her.
Very slow, so you feel every
If she was
pain
human again,
imaginable.
I might be able to reach her.
Why?
Then let's give her...
I don't understand this plot
Wait.
point.
What?
I don't...
Me pretty again. Oh,
Yes,
please make
but
me
how?
pretty again.
This disease is manufactured. So they must have made an antidote as well.
Oh, you are so clever. So clever, my handsome
Yes.
prince.
Of course. It must have been created when developing the virus to protect those chosen to serve them. Judging by the look of you, sadly it would seem you're not one of the chosen, my dear.
Oh, Zobek with the sick burns!
Man, Mila Jovovich has really let herself go.
Ow.
I'll go back to the corporation, look around, see what I can
Very
find.
well, but make your own way there. It's risky to open a portal.
From your very
It's likely the acolytes are aware of her disappearance by now. I don't want to leave supernatural traces that could lead back to me.
For mercy, you pigs! You disgust me! You scum! You scum!
Finally, a character I can relate to. Well, that was a pleasant scene that made total sense.
Oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah.
Anyway, if we stick around and stick by Volkova, she has some extra dialogue.
You will be his slave forever, creature! Pig son of a bitch! Free me now, or regret it.
We have almost found a Tinder profile worse than Gabriel's.
We killed him and his precious son, and you two are next.
Wait, what?
God told me he doesn't love you anymore. He doesn't love anyone anymore.
Yeah, in the Lords of Shadow universe, God and Jesus were killed off screen sometime between Lords of Shadow 1 and 2.
Huh.
God told me he doesn't love you anymore.
Okay.
Anyone anymore.
And not only does God exist in the Lords of Shadow universe, he did exist, and that he was killed by Satan.
Another God rejected, I guess.
Wow.
It sure is an interesting take to, for the mythology in this series, I guess.
Sure. Okay. All right. Let's go there. Let's do that.
Does that mean Lords of Shadow 2 is blasphemous?
Yeah, it's a girl from Ipanema.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this part.
Gotta load in that garage.
So one thing I wanted to point out, so even though Dracula has a shadow, he does not have a reflection in any of the marble surfaces. Although other characters do, which I thought was a neat detail.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
Huh.
And you can also use the Chaos Bombs to ambush enemies.
Oh.
Which is just really cool. So, the possessed citizens that have melee weapons are really annoying. Because they can block most of your standard attacks if you start using them too much. And they can also block the Chaos Claws.
So they penalize you for being repetitive.
Yes.
I suppose that's no different from a DMC game, except, you can still do your combos and stuff.
Yeah, it's more of a God of War thing, where certainly in the classic God of Wars, they would try to punish you from being repetitive more by outright blocking your standard attacks. I definitely remember that being a thing. Rather than having a style meter, it would just stop you from doing damage. Nope, still can't get through there.
One day we'll turn into liquid metal and just walk through with the powers of 90s CGI.
The flames don't go out entirely. I must do something else to extinguish them.
So here's an interesting little puzzle.
Huh.
You have to freeze up the pipes that are controlling the sprinklers. Also, the dialogue that Volkova has when we were still in Zelvik's building is, I don't know if it's a plot hole, but I think it might be it might be indicative of a rewrite, because there will be a cutscene later on that doesn't make sense in relation to that scene. But I think it was more of a sense that it was rewritten later on. You'll see when that comes up.
Or did they just have extra dialogue from extra takes that they threw in there as filler when you're standing around? Like, just
I don't know, but I'm going to deploy smooth jazz.
deploy smooth jazz, sir.
It allows Dracula to be tranquil in the face of certain death. We never see that plane again. It's just a background detail.
I have many questions, but the most prominent one is, why did the gas take an airplane down?
I don't know. But how could it
How
have
did
reached
it-
the sky already? it can't have been more than a couple hours.
How did it cause one engine to fail on a 747?
Like, I can understand all the chaos it's causing in the streets right now, but how could it have caused how could it have reached airlines already?
It's a mystery.
Hey, shut up, you're interrupting our family dinner. Anyway, here's a better use of Stolas' cloak. The other disadvantage of Stolas' cloak is that enemies have knockback when you hit them. So you kind of have to manage them or somehow get them into a corner in order to cheese it. Or just use it on a boss fight.
Okay.
Yeah, possessed citizens that are unarmed aren't too much of a big deal. It's the ones that have melee weapons, and later on, ones with guns that are really, really awful.
Oh my god, they break out the firearms?
Yes. Oh, yes, they break out the firearms. Oh, boy, do they ever. Possessed citizens with guns are some of the most annoying enemies in the whole game. They're not the hardest, but they are one of the most annoying.
Okay, let me just start by saying Dracula is taking to modern day a lot better than I would have assumed he would.
Yeah, I gotta say, maybe Zobek taught him a few tricks off screen.
I also want to say this, the aesthetic of this area is making me think a lot of Bloodborne, and that is just wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I've not played Bloodborne, but I've seen a few LPs of it, and I could certainly see the resemblance.
Bloodborne's pretty great, and if you start with the Threaded Cane, you might as well be playing like a Castlevania game.
I have tried on a couple of occasions to see if you can parry an attack when an enemy's is under the influence of Bat Swarm, but it seems as though you can't. Like, enemies are constantly in attack mode when they're in Bat Swarm mode, but it seems like you can't block. It seems like you can block them, but you can't parry them. Anyway, we appear to be in the entertainment district of downtown.
We just gotta head home, pick up a few things.
Yeah, like this is clearly like, which area of Europe is this meant to be? Like the post-credit stinger in Lords of Shadow 1, that was clearly London. That was Piccadilly Circus.
Right.
Like the developer interviews, they said that was more influenced by Madrid, which is Mercury Steam's hometown. But I could kind of see that, but I don't know. There's a bit more Gothic architecture to it. Also, books. It's all we sell here. Just the concept of books.
Do you think they got any copies of Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yes, we have Nosferatu. We have Nosferatu today.
This is also going to be a recurring theme. The rat mode is going to be used as a poor man's morph ball.
I mean, it's thematically appropriate.
This is also going to be a recurring thing. I will not leave until I know that all 9 rats are with me. I just cannot leave my friends behind.
Are they your friends, or are they just yourself?
Yes, I need to bring all of me with me.
Cool little puzzle. I like it.
Yeah, there are some extra collectibles around here that need a bit more finesse. We'll grab those in another video. Anyway, here's another memorial. Just get the barrel. Come on.
There you go.
So this is one of those battles that was off-screen. This guy was from Wyckoff Village. Thus the name.
You did it, guys. You totally beat the Dark Prince, who totally isn't reading the scroll right now.
Yes, absolutely.
I like to think Dracula read that scroll and just thought, haha, got him.
We have not introduced Dracula to memes yet. When that day comes, it will be a dark, dark day for humanity.
You know, I'm looking at this architecture, and, okay, Bloodborne, Spain. I think there's a little Tim Burton's Batman influence on this.
I could see it.
Yeah, the developers mainly reference Guillermo del Toro as their reference, but I think that's more for the castle sections. As for the city, I could see Burton's art style.
Kind of Art Deco, kind of dark, kind of gritty. Yeah.
Oh, we got the talisman back. Anyway, that waterfall is there if you need to go back up to that level. So I was actually incorrect about the game never referencing Dracula's castle exploding, because the foundations of Castlevania City are actually built on the ruins of Dracula's castle.
Oh, I understand.
Oh, so they named it after the castle that used to stand here then.
Yes. And there's also some inconsistency as to Dracula's name. Like, Dracula only refers to himself as Dracul, but Dracula appears to be the name given to him by the residents of the city. There's a whole thing about the pop culture the in-universe pop culture surrounding vampires and Dracula in particular, which the lore does get into, and it's a hoot.
Does this mean there are people who believe that Gabriel's a sparkly vampire?
I don't know about that, but there is at least one bit of lore on vampire romance,
Oh, no.
which because the Brotherhood of Light has so much political power in this universe, it became a politically controversial piece and was subject to church censorship. I'm not joking. That's part of the lore. But we'll get to that lore later on. Anyway, this is a puzzle that can be, a little unclear. Because there's that, there's still electricity running through those wires over there. What you're supposed to do is look up, which is always something that's difficult to do, or to get players to do. And go over there, and there's a prompt for the Shadow Dagger. Not
Just gotta
do
get
that.
an angle on it. Yeah, there you go.
There. Yeah, like getting players to look up is always something that's really hard for game designers.
Yeah, based on everything I've heard and looked into, like when I played Hitman, it seems like that's a hard thing for people to get people to do in general.
So this is actually based on a real thing. more so the concept of a tomb of the unknown soldier. I don't know if this is a thing in the U.S., but in Commonwealth countries and certainly in Canada, there's a tradition with on November 11th to have the a single mother of a fallen soldier lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier that represents all of the soldiers who do not have identifiable graves.
Oh.
Security door closed. Automatic shower beginning in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yes, thank God I needed that.
Procedure finalizing. The doors will open.
Well, that's an awful fast disinfecting shower.
I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting this to be those spigots to spit out like acid that would melt you.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great if that was like an instant game over or something, but no. Yeah, this is some rather gratuitous padding on the game's part, mostly just because Zobek will not give us a portal directly into Biochemic's headquarters anymore, because apparently it would just be too suspicious.
So this is Zobek saying once is enough.
Yeah.
I paid for your bus fare once, now you can do it yourself.
So yeah, someone decided that it would be a great idea to build a mental hospital on top of a mass grave of children. Good going, guys.
Like,
especially when you know that Dracula is around.
Meanwhile, we're reading this as like slander. He stayed home for thousands of years.
Yeah, we don't know what he's been up to since the 1540s in the Great Explosion. Anyway, here's the upgrade for the Vengeful Stab. It was one last attack. And it's time to go back into rat mode. Okay, now it's time to go back into rat mode.
There we go. Is anyone else weirded out by the fact that we're finding all these lores and we're literally calling slander and bullshit on horrible stories that the Brotherhood is telling about Dracula?
Yeah, because it's one of the things I actually like about the lore is that the player knows enough to call out the Brotherhood's lies that they're very clearly feeding the populace.
It is kind of interesting reading all this propaganda, from a source that knows that it's propaganda.
So this part isn't really stealth per se. I mean, you just kind of have to run a little bit if you get caught, but it's not a game over or anything. Plus, there's a shadow portal right here if you need it.
Surprise!
Happy birthday! I got you a Vengeful Stab as a birthday present.
I was just looking for one.
And of course, you can cancel out of the that Chaos Claw version of the guillotine, just like you can with the other guillotine.
Did he just... I mean, I guess that's close enough to wall chicken, but okay.
Well, we may be seeing some wall chicken later. I mean, we got plenty of wall chicken in Mirror of Fate, so...
Hmm.
I'm not going to spoil anything specific, but we might be seeing a cute little reference later. Much later.
But first, these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, Dishonored vampires are really nasty in the shield variant. Because their shield can take a fair amount of damage if you don't have magic with me, because that is definitely something that will show up later in this video. Although, thankfully, it only takes one Void Dagger to freeze them. Although these variants can teleport, because they're corrupted by this mysterious blood that we've been seeing. They are capable of teleporting wherever they need to be.
That's not obnoxious.
Yeah, but you get used to it. It's pretty easy to reposition. There's enough of a tell when they teleport that, especially in their second position. Also, you have iframes during the finisher, so that you don't get destroyed by an unblockable attack.
That's good. Wouldn't want a repeat of Dark Souls 2 there.
Or Overlords of Shadow 1. That happened a lot in that game, too.
Mm-hmm.
This place is definitely not up to code.
Although I do kind of like the fire puzzles. Quote
Yeah.
unquote puzzles.
Also, all of this PVC wiring. Can you tell that every single button press in the QTE, you can just see the animation clicking into place with every button press.
Why would you make that a QTE?
I don't know.
We're not playing Mario Party here.
Maybe overused the QTEs in this game.
Yeah, they overcompensated. Because they knew that they have the option to turn them off. So when they figured they could just go crazy with them when you had them turned on.
Or maybe it was the other way around, where they put in all these QTEs and then realized, shit, this is kind of obnoxious, but we can't just take them out, so let's make it a toggle.
I mean, there were some in Lords of Shadow 1, right? Like, they weren't what I would call overbearing, but...
Yeah, and they were mostly for the finishing moves.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Dracula? Alright, so we're against a lot of Dishonored vampires here. And this is where I kind of run into trouble with the magic system. And I want to preface this by saying that I deliberately avoid things like the Ensnared Demon, because I just want to make a point about the enemy design and the over-reliance on the shield specifically having to be broken by the Chaos Claws when it comes down to the last enemy here. And the fact that I kind of disagree with... I don't necessarily disagree with the design decision to only have the Chaos Claws destroy the shields, but the amount of punishment it takes on hard. So I'm down to my last enemy right about here. But I'm also out of Chaos Claw magic.
Oh.
And there's no magic font around.
Have fun with that.
And this leads to some misadventures. So it took me about 2 or 3 minutes to defeat this enemy through basically happenstance and coincidence. Slowly slowly breaking his health down by circumventing the combat system. Again, I'm deliberately not using the Incinerate Demon here because I want to make a point about the game's combat system.
Would you have had enough magic if you were playing on normal?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm playing on hard.
but if you were playing on normal, would you have had enough?
Not for magic, no. But maybe. Actually, no, maybe I could have on normal. It's hard to tell. I don't play this game on normal that much.
That was impressively bad.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it is awful. Oh, sure, give me the Ensnared Demon after I finish that fight, thanks. And keep in mind, if you don't have the DLC, the Absorption DLC, you don't have the privilege of just switching out the relic.
I still don't understand how they made what should have been a base feature of the game $2.
It's actually $1 Canadian. I got the price wrong as well. Still too much. It should have been free. Should have been part of the mechanic.
So basically like $1.75, $1.80 American, something like that.
Yeah. Also, that's really insensitive to social workers who are basically in this universe convincing these quote-unquote mental patients that everything they saw about Dracula was a lie. Anyway, we backtrack over here. There's that pain box that we saw when we were in rat form.
Oh!
And we're gonna finish this video off by going downstairs, and that means one more elevator ride. Oh my god. Oh no, Dracula's gonna be stuck listening to that forever.
You son of a bitch.
Until the next update. Who knows how long that'll be?
Well, one thing's for certain. We're never going to give up on this Let's Play.
Or let it down. Or run around or desert it. Or make it cry, say goodbye, tell a lie, or hurt it. It's surprisingly difficult to think of song lyrics when you're changing the pronouns and the tenses of the verbs.